President Kiir tasks new army chief with reforms to professionalize the military. Government and partners launch free eye surgeries in Pibor administrative area. And authorities call on holdout groups to accept dialogue to ensure lasting peace. Good evening and welcome to this Thursday night for this SSBC News. I am Duku Wilson with the news. But first we begin with presidential decrees with my colleague, Madam Rejoice.
Republican Decree number 253 for their 2025 promotion of justices and judges in the judiciary of South Sudan. The decree, it reads, pursuant to the provisions of sections 41, 3C, D, E, and F of the Judiciary Act 2008, read together with the section 38(1) of the Interpretation of Laws and General Provisions Act 2006, I, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President of the Republic of South Sudan, do hereby promote justices and judges in the judiciary of South Sudan as hereunder. Justice of the Court of Appeal promoted to Justice of the Supreme Court. Justice Stephen Simon Banyingwa, Justice Bol Lul Wang, Justice Isaac Pur Majak, Justice William Kaya Pacifico, Justice Makur Machok Manyon, Justice Kulang Jerobam Machor, judges of the High Court promoted to the Justice of the Appeal. Justice Andrew Joshua Ladu, Justice Dwoth Kulang Bichok, Justice Maloyel Akok, Justice Garang Ajang Deng, Justice Kwol Montoch Deng, Justice Obach Denyong Anyong, Justice Smaya Saleh Abdallah, Justice Noah Gabriel Kau, Justice Abantong Onwar, Justice Abraham Majur Lat, Justice Dr. Kimo Otwan Dak, Justice Alexander Sabur Subek, Justice Michael Atem Chol, Justice Nicola Nyol Makwoch, Justice Matiang Kwach Matiang, Justice Bol Ayuel Akwei, Justice John Well Alieu, Justice Dr. Charles Oya Nyawelo. Judges of First Grade County Court promoted to judges of the High Court. Judge Id Sebit Id Adam, Judge Digo Stephen Abraham, Judge Dudu Jackson Jajen, Judge Lawrence Vicencio Jaja, Judge Joshua Ladu Santa, Judge Peter Nyok Dwop, Judge Peter Mazen Chol, Judge Ogwili Kwot Okumu, Judge Yai Anywan Akot, Judge Mujahid Abdallah Adam, Judge Sabit Bulen Laku, Judge Angelo Daniel Guang, Judge Mangisto Amos Waja, Judge Malek Chol Malek, Judge Francis Amum Awien. Judges of Second Grade County Court promoted to First Grade County Court judges. Judge Arcangelo Vicencio Ladu, Judge Abdallah Rahman El Tom Laku, Judge El Gasim El Sadiq Farjala, Judge Lual Chwei Deng, Judge Aban Ocholo Odong, Judge Linda Martin Madud, Judge Alfred Ladu Jada, Judge Fasklina Ajang Angelo, Judge Thomas Deng Jago, Judge Peter Mustafa Karijo, Judge Ajok Tito Telar, Judge Paul Kwol Dao, Judge Nyabaj Tipokur, Judge Ayom Benjamin Bol, Judge Maria Lino Athian, Judge Akel Alex Akok, Judge Garang Mangong Yai, Judge Haven Ki Lino, Judge James Ladu Jada Modi, Judge Nyang Moses, Judge George Michael Achor, Judge Morris Mariano Uyaka, Judge Franco Pagan Nyanyo, Judge Abuk Thomas Del, Judge Achok Chandrech, Judge Faris Hassan Odel, Judge Joseph Ayak Tukwany, Judge Stephen Zakaria Wani, Judge David Moses Stud, Judge Nyangwol Nyang Athiang, Judge Rose William Abol, Judge Asia Peter Nyawela Yor, Judge Nyabeny John Okony, Judge Ayel Nyang Ayel, Judge William Anyon Arol, Judge Sende Alfadil Anel, Judge Abdallah Deng Tong, Judge Agustino Deng Nyilak, Judge Biar Matet Ayom, Judge Barnaba Mak Nyikang, Judge Matwet Abdul Terkoch, Judge Arol Majak Arol, Judge Julia Matthew Polino, issued under my hand and seal of the Republic of South Sudan in Juba, this 10th day of the month of July in the year 2025. Signed, Salva Kiir Mayardit, President, Republic of South Sudan, Juba.
And now to continue with our news, we begin tonight with a story from the State House where President Salva Kiir Mayardit has directed the newly appointed Chief of Defense Forces, General Dao Aturjong Nyol, to implement sweeping reforms aimed at transforming the South Sudan People's Defense Forces into a professional, modern, and accountable national army. The president was speaking during the swearing-in ceremony held at the State House in Juba on Thursday. SSBC's Alejandro Lotok reports.
In a firm resolve to build a stronger and more professional military, President Salva Kiir Mayardit has tasked the newly appointed Chief of Defense Forces, General Dao Aturjong Nyol, with spearheading reforms in the South Sudan People's Defense Forces. Speaking during the swearing-in ceremony, President Kiir emphasized the need to eliminate ghost names from the military payroll and to improve the welfare of the serving soldiers across the country.
This is a position of great responsibility, and I trust in your ability to serve with loyalty, discipline, and vision. As you take up this role, I direct your attention to the following priorities. 1. Transform the SSPDF into a professional, unified, and modern national army that serves the people and uphold the Constitution. 2. Eliminate ghost names from the payroll. Every pound must go to the real serving soldier. The issue of ghost names in the SSPDF payroll is unacceptable. 3. Ensure timely procurement and delivery of food and fuel through reliable company to support troop welfare. 4. Strengthen military relations with your counterpart at the regional and international level to promote cooperation and professionalism. 5. Prioritize training and leadership development for officers and soldiers to build capacity, that is, discipline and operational effectiveness.
In his maiden remarks, the new Chief of Defense Forces, General Dao Aturjong, expressed gratitude for the confidence placed in him and pledged to lead with integrity and commitment to national service. General Dao's appointment comes at a critical time as South Sudan prepares for its first post-independence elections.
And I pledge to serve this Republic of South Sudan with unwavering commitment. In fulfillment of my constitution mandate, protection of the people with their properties, upholding national sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of South Sudan. My priorities will be combativeness, transformation and modernization of the army, and well-being of our soldiers. In doing so, I will make sure that army continue to uphold the value of courage, honor, selfless service as the value that sustain us during the days of SPLM struggle.
Government officials say the president's directives are a major step toward building a unified, disciplined, and capable military, one that protects the people and upholds the Constitution. Alejandro Lotok, SSBC News.
President Salva Kiir Mayardit has received a congratulatory message from Israeli President Isaac Herzog, marking South Sudan's 14th independence anniversary and reaffirming the strong diplomatic ties between the two nations. President Herzog expressed his wishes for a stable and prosperous future for South Sudan, while reiterating Israel's commitment to expanding cooperation in key sectors, including agriculture, health, and education. Meanwhile, Wal Mayar Arech from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs welcomed the continued Israeli assistance and partnership. He confirmed that 10 South Sudanese students will travel to Israel this year to study modern agricultural techniques, part of the country's expanding educational exchange and development cooperation. As South Sudan celebrates 14 years of independence, the deepening of ties with Israel signals a growing focus on sustainable partnerships to support the country's long-term stability and growth.
I handed over to the President a letter from the President of Israel for Independence Day yesterday, congratulating the President and the people of South Sudan on their Independence Day, wishing South Sudan a stable and prosperous future, and promising that Israel will do all it can to continue and to further cooperation in fields such as agriculture, education, health, and others. Also in the letter, our President expressed appreciation for the support of South Sudan, the friendship with South Sudan, and the commitment of South Sudan, which it keeps to support Israel in international and regional fora. And in the discussion that followed, we spoke about the various areas that we are cooperating. I updated the President about our future visit from Israel of Save a Child's Heart to do a clinic at Al-Sabah Hospital to bring children with life-threatening heart problems for surgery in Israel at no cost to them or to their families. And also regarding a program that we are doing to help high school students, together with the STEM Center at the University of Juba, to be interested in science, to learn about science through space, to learn physics, to learn mathematics, to learn engineering, hopefully to get them energized to study sciences in the university. And we also discussed the cooperation that we have in the trauma centers, in the teaching hospital, and possibilities of future cooperation.
And also the program of Learn and Earn, the agriculture program of Learn and Earn, where we have trained over 200 South Sudanese youth, and now there's a pilot project where the South Sudan has been readmitted to a program in order to have 10 students go to Israel this year in order to learn the modern agriculture technique in order to advance the agriculture sector in the state of South Sudan. All in all, we appreciate the meeting was excellent, and His Excellency appreciate.
Vice President Josephine Joseph Lago has echoed President Salva Kiir's message, urging all citizens to embrace a free and prosperous South Sudan where justice prevails. Speaking at an event held at her office on Wednesday to mark the 14th Independence Day anniversary, Vice President Josephine called on South Sudanese to unite in building a peaceful and inclusive nation. She emphasized the importance of fostering national unity and creating an environment where every citizen can contribute meaningfully to the country's development.
This country will be sorted, and we will achieve our aspirations, which is to have a free country, a country that will be prosperous, a country where our people will live in justice, a country where our people will have equal opportunities, a country where we will all have the opportunity to develop our talents. And we saw one this morning in church. And I've always said, you know, this country is a blessed country. We have all the natural and mineral resources here. And if we were to divide this country up among ourselves, who are 13 million, actually you will realize that the country is underpopulated. We need more people. We need this country to be populated. And that's going to take time. In the meantime, we have enough land.
Vice President Taban Dengai and the Norwegian Ambassador Roa Hogsdal reviewed implementation of the revitalized peace agreement. Speaking to SSBC, Ambassador Roa Hogsdal expresses Norway's commitment to supporting the government and people of South Sudan in achieving lasting peace.
In a meeting with Honorable Vice President Taban Deng, I urged for an end to the fighting and a call for
government and partners, including United Nations and humanitarian country teams, convened to explore ways of addressing the country's humanitarian-related issues as hunger looms. The meeting broadly discussed deepening continued collaboration between South Sudan's government and partners amid global funding cuts to various aid agencies, which has so far affected their operations. The officials reviewed the last month's meeting that focused on addressing multiple challenges confronting the country, such as food insecurity and lack of better health and educational services simultaneously. In a statement to the media after this crucial meeting, chaired by the Minister of Finance and Planning, Dr. Mariel Dungrin Ater, who reaffirmed government's commitment to collaborative efforts and coordination with partners, the UN Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator, Anita Kiki Beho, says the meeting resolved to support government's efforts in delivering essential social services in the country, as well as demonstrating measurable impact on self-reliance and resilience.
As a representative group, we briefed them on the 4 key areas that we agreed that we would move forward on. The first being food security and livelihoods, the second being the social services, the third one, durable solutions, and fourth, rapid response. All of these areas are to contribute towards building the resilience of the people of South Sudan. We felt that it was important that we meet. We felt that it was important to coordinate because there have been 2 significant shocks this year. First is a reduction of resources, and the second one is the tensions that have led to conflict in different parts of the country, making it difficult to respond. So we wanted to ensure that we were on the same page, that government agrees that these areas of work would be useful, and that from time to time we can come back and see whether we are making progress towards reaching the objectives that we have set. So overall, a good meeting, a good agreement that resilience of the people of South Sudan will be key, an agreement that we come together on a periodic basis to ensure that we are making progress towards the goal, and where we are not, that we.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akol Atak, on Thursday met the Governor of Jonglei State, Dr. Riek Gai Kok, who paid a courtesy visit and briefed the minister on the humanitarian situation and needs for intervention in the state. In another meeting, Minister Albino Akol also met the Deputy Chief of the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, UNDRR, Mr. Ho Benyen, who came to Juba on the implementation of the disaster risk reduction and Anticipatory Action, a project supported by the Netherlands in South Sudan. SSBC's Edwin Stephen has more on the story.
A region prone to flooding in the rainy season, Jonglei State is annually exposed to humanitarian disasters. In the first meeting with the state governor, Dr. Riek Gai Kok, in Juba on Thursday, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akola Tak, says the government is to do more to fix the humanitarian challenges in the state.
The governor and his accompanying delegation briefed me about the impact of recent incident in Nasser that is spill over to those counties that are neighboring Upper Nile, which we have agreed that we will have to coordinate to support these people as part of our intervention as the government in that region. We also touch issues impact of flood on specifically counties that are actually bordering or along the Nile line.
Dr. Riek Gai Kok commends the government and partners for understanding the disadvantages the people in the state are exposed to.
The Honorable Minister is on top of these challenges. He has briefed us also about the measures that are being taken by his ministry to address those challenges. So to us, it's good news to our people in Panjak that the government is ready to address those challenges, especially those who are returning to Panjak and who are in high demand of relief, food and shelter. That Honorable Minister, with in cooperation with the partners, are going to address these issues. We also brief Honorable Minister about the effects of floods in western side of Jonglei.
In another meeting, the Minister Alvina Cole and the Deputy Chief of the Regional Office of the United Nations for Disaster Risk Reduction for Africa, Hu Beinon, reviewed the special projects for empowering the government in tackling disasters in the country. Dr. Joseph Anak, the Director General for Disaster Risk Management at the Ministry, acknowledges the United Nations Agency for the projects.
We are happy that the UNDRR is taking this bold step despite the competing priorities globally. So the Minister also reassured the team that South Sudan, through the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, is committed to support this process until we see the light in the end of the tunnel.
It's really looking at building the capacities and supporting the government and the people of South Sudan to build resilience to climate-related disasters. And we're looking at two specific things this week. One is on anticipatory action, so helping revise plans and policies on how to take anticipatory action when a disaster strikes. And then we're also looking at revitalizing and reviewing the national policy for disaster management and the national platform for disaster risk reduction.
This week, the Ministry and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction and other partners is implementing a week-long capacity building workshop on disaster risk reduction and anticipatory action program for stakeholders drawn from different line ministries and partners in Juba. Edwin Stephen, SSBC News, Juba.
Government and partners launched free eye surgeries in Pibor administrative area. The campaign that targets all the counties of the administrative area aims to restore sight of patients with eye problems and to bring to an end preventable sight loss. Pibor Information Minister Nyinga Achiro Gilo calls on patients with sight problems to come for treatment. Representing the National Ministry of Health, Stephen Mai reiterated the ministry's commitment to deliver healthcare services to the people. The Minister of Information, Michael Makwelweth, reminded South Sudanese that the birth of South Sudan was a collective effort of the citizens and the international community. Minister Makwe made the remark during the celebration of the Independence Day organized by the SPLM Veterans Foundation and Terap Media at Lologo, under the theme, Together We Are Better. A member of the board of directors of Terap Media, Rebecca Joshua Okwachi, commended martyrs for writing the history of South Sudan through their sacrifice. The Commissioner General of the National Revenue Authority, Simon Akwe-Deng, emphasizes the importance of paying taxes for government to deliver essential public services and contribute to nation building. The chairperson of Veterans Foundation, Major General Deng Garang, urges citizens to unite and work collectively for the development of the country.
Ilan bubulong tayo nga sawat na yung na. Sawat na yung kakasyan kita begini independent. Inta التصويت ده كنت تلقاه قبل كده. قبل كده انت لقيته بدون SPL. هنا لازم نعترف بالحقائق. وين كل زول له حق بتاعه. ادي SPL حق بتاعه.
دور الإعلام مهم جدا جدا. بدون إعلام كلامنا ما حيتعبر، الناس ما حيعرفونا، الناس ما حيتعلموا لو ما في إعلام. فدور راديو SPLA كان دور كبير جدا مقدر، وكان شارع مشاركة كبيرة في التحرير.
The only thing that we need as a gift of our independence is for us to get united. Have peace, give a room for agriculture, give a room for development, and we will now appreciate our independence.
الآخر هذا ناس ماشيين outside. في يوغندا ماشيين، في كينيا ماشيين. 14 سنة هنا رانا بلد. ما بنقدر نجيبوا كسبات بتاعنا في بلدنا. ما بنقدر علو. ما بنقدر علو ده.
Massive crowd turned out to mark the 14th independence celebrations in Awil West County, northern Bahr el Ghazal State. Government dignitaries, including member of National Constitutional Review Commission and former presidential advisor on decentralization and intergovernmental linkages, Tor Deng Mawen, community leaders and the UN representative attended the occasion in Mariel Bay. Paul Bith has more on the story.
Northern Bahr el Ghazal State government celebrated the 9th July independent anniversary of the Republic of South Sudan, where a massive population turned out for the independence celebration in Awil West County, Mariel Bay. The independence celebration marked the 14th independence of South Sudan. The state leadership headed by the Governor Simon Hubert Mahut and the Army Organized Forces have attended the independence celebration. Speaking to the media during the celebration, Governor Simon Hubert says the independence of South Sudan was achieved through lives lost, experience, and thanks the heroes and heroines and the veterans of South Sudan.
I stand before you to thank and appreciate the people of Awil West County for giving us such an exceptional reception. I'm also incredibly delighted and privileged to participate in the commemoration of the 14th anniversary of our independence here in Mariel Bay town.
Hubert also expresses his gratitude and happiness to the President Salva Kiir Mayardit for maintaining peace in the country. Mahut thanks the Awil community for preserving harmony among themselves and their neighbors.
In this regard, I thank the people of Northern Bahr el Ghazal State for maintaining peace and unity among themselves and with their neighbors. We should therefore utilize the peace and stability in the state to engage in large and small-scale farming to ensure food independence.
The former presidential advisor Tordeng Mayuen congratulates the country's victory for achievement of independence.
SPLM هيتعاون مع كل الأحزاب شرطا أحزاب اللي ما عندهم أجنحة عسكرية لحد ما يودي الناس بتوعهم في containment areas يتدرب عشان يكون لنا جيش واحد CPF واحد Commander in Chief واحد ودولة واحد.
Awil West County Commissioner Abula Kongakuk encourages the communities to coexist among themselves and promote the agricultural productions.
وأقول ألف مبروك لكير مايار وألف مبروك لسايمون وبيرا لرفع العلم. ألف مبروك لنا لرفع العلم رفعناه الليلة في هذا اليوم في أول ويست.
The Army's representative Alfred Zulu says the United Nations has joined South Sudan in commemorations of the independence celebrations of the 9th July and expresses UN commitment in supporting the government of South Sudan.
So, Your Excellency, I can assure you today that United Nations remain resilient and we will support you in many areas. The country is preparing for elections next year. The United Nations will continue to provide logistical, technical, material support to the formulation and preparations of the elections which will be held in 2026 in December.
The independent anniversary of 9th July celebration has been celebrated with joy and happiness in northern Bargazal states, Awil West County, Marialibai.
A very good evening. As we have seen, thousands of people have gathered behind me there. They have been attending the today's celebrations of the 9th July. This is northern Bargazal states. A lot of people have been celebrating. They have been happy, enjoying the 14th independent anniversary by the government of northern Bargazal state. Reporting for SSBC in Awil, I am Paul Bith.
Digital communication company organized 10-kilometer marathon race as part of the independence celebration. The event brought together South Sudanese athletes to showcase their talents. Adil Mohammed has a report voiced by Abate Simon.
To run for peace and unity, the digital marathon race started from Bullock Square, passing through the University of Juba, Lawyer Street, through Mobile to Addis Ababa, to Central Prison, through Ministries Road to J1 and the Ministry of Petroleum and the Sudanese Embassy, back to Bullock Square. The digital marathon was conducted in the groups of female youth, male youth, mothers, fathers, and the children. Dominic Awoy from Shegan, Eastern Equatoria, takes the lead of first place in male youth group with 28 minutes, 28 seconds. In female youth group, Rebecca Nyandor from Rumbek Central takes first place, and the first place for children's group is Deng Deng Angok from Northern Barkazel. Besides are the mothers and fathers' participation. Mother Elizabeth Nyang David from Jonglei State and Father Francis Juma Bakas from Upper Nile takes the lead. The celebration was dressed by Chan Awoy, Executive Vice President of Digital Company, congratulates the South Sudanese for keeping the spirit of struggle like determination to winning the marathon.
If there is a sport that can be associated with independence of South Sudan, I think it's marathon. Because marathon, you run a lot, it takes a toll in your body. When you arrive here, you are very tired. I think the history of South Sudan is like that as well. For 50 years, we have been running to gain independence, and we got it today. One of the things we want to put our country on the map is through athletics, because you can see we are very energetic people, and we have a lot of energy.
Demonstrated by the achieved independence. For this part, Majoka Yi, chairperson of the South Sudanese Athletics Federation, urged the citizens to continue with the spirit of unity and a reflection of heroes and the martyrs.
Happy Independence Day for all South Sudanese, and also Happy Independence Day for those who are present in this morning. Very clear, this event it will take place every year in 9th July. There will be a celebration for the martyrs who contribute for this nation, the people who lost their life, for us to have the nation we are in today. That's why we need to make it for unity and for peace and for happiness of South Sudanese in general.
Meanwhile, Peter Luka, the chairperson of the National Parliament's Irrigation and Water Resources Committee, urged the development partners to remember organizing a similar program in the remote areas.
Encourage those of digital, let them not just to organize this in Juba here, let them extend their services to those who are in the remote areas so that they can remember also that we have our Independent Day. And let's say that congratulations for those who have participated, and for those who win, for those who did not win, it is hard luck for you. Next year you will increase your effort so that you can also win.
In this marathon, many runners are urged not to use it as a personal challenge to test their physical and mental limits, pushing themselves to achieve a goal they may have initially thought unattainable. Adjangane, SSBC.
And that's all we have this Thursday night. Thank you for watching. I am Duku Wilson. Good night.